Hello, hello, everybody. Hello. Wow. This is a different setup. I'm looking deep into the room, many rows back. It's not typically like that here. How many people are new here? Ooh, a bunch. Oh, boy. More fodder for the mailing list. That's wonderful. I'm so thrilled you're here. There's a lot of regulars, too, who have been here many times. And this is one of the joys of my life. During the pandemic, the one thing I missed most of it all was house concerts. I love bringing people together into this room to have these amazing experiences of these virtuoso musicians in this intimate, close environment where there's a lot of back and forth. They're not separated from us. They're not on a stage. They're like here. We're with them. We're giving each other the energy, and I love that about this environment. It's the only way I ever want to hear music. And I'm thrilled to hear these guys for the first time live. I've seen them I saw the concert at Celtic Colours in Nova Scotia, and I've known Caitlin from Tune Supply. I didn't know Chris before, but we was talking at dinner and found out their story. You know, they came from different directions. One from theater, one from trad, and collided and met here in Seattle when they were both working on Far From Away when it was in previews here in Seattle right before it went off to Broadway. And that's the worlds they came from. But they're deep into trad now, and it's this wonderful life that this mix of influences. I think we're going to see a lot of that Broadway stuff may creep into some of the trad stuff. Who knows? I think Chris is getting his trad education the last few years for sure, and I'm thrilled for what we're going to hear tonight. Coming up, the only thing I have scheduled so far is in February. I've got Encore coming back. Yes. And it's a bit of a download because they're playing for Wintergrass, and Wintergrass has a performance embargo. So don't tell anybody. But they knew because of my mailing list they would not need to publicize the concert, and I won't need to either. So that's why we get them. So you're on the inside here to see Genticorum again. I've got Hildeland in April, which is Louis Bichon and Ethan Satayawan. Amazing Scottish fiddlers from Orkney. So that's going to be really special. I adore her playing, just adore it. She's up for a Trad Artist of the Year award in Scotland right now.
Oh, wow.
And so but I'll fill in the schedule. I'm sure I'll get someone for January. I'm going to do a house contra dance here on Christmas Eve like we always do. Have an open band and a contra dance. We can get 2 lines in this room.
All right.
Yeah. We'll pull up the rugs and have a great time dancing. That's coming up. But let's welcome Caitlin and Chris.
I would stand up, except I can't play fiddle when I'm standing up. And I can't play classical music when I'm sitting down. That's how it works. So I have to sit while I'm playing fiddle. It's because my feet do all sorts of things that I can't really control, and they have to be bouncing around.
We should have a rug down here too.
Because otherwise, you hear this and not in rhythm. So that's why we are arranged as we are. Thank you for having us. This is so lovely to be playing in Seattle, which is actually where Chris and I met, as Doug mentioned. And it's one of Chris's hometowns. Chris lived here for a number of years. Yeah. And I'm from Alaska originally, and I feel so much more comfortable on the West Coast than on the East Coast. I should probably move away from the East Coast.
But we've actually been joking about moving to Portland.
I love Portland.
For the last week.
I love Portland. Is that allowed to say in Seattle? Is there a rivalry? There probably is, right? Of course. Of course. It's like Fairbanks and Anchorage, probably. Yeah. Anyways, it's really lovely to be here. So we're going to be playing you some mostly Irish music, but also some other influences, as Doug mentioned. And we both come from various different genres of music, and that tends to creep in from time to time. So I hope there's no super trad police in the audience, because this will not be the concert for you. That was some pretty straight up jigs. Well, actually, no, we removed a beat from one of the tunes. Anybody who is a player was probably like, "Whoa, where'd that beat go?" And that slip jig. But that was the Spotted Dog, Sean Ryan's Humorous a Whiskey, Missing a Beat, and Radican's Father to get started off there. And we will go straight into some polkas, which is not what we usually do, but going to keep the energy going here. Chris has been on a polka learning rampage lately, which is good because I don't play a lot of polkas. So the thing is that Chris sits at home learning tunes, and then I just osmosisize them, and I don't have to do any work. It's really nice.
It's ideal for you.
It's ideal for me, because then I don't have to actually.
It doesn't work in reverse, though.
No. So we'll do a couple polkas. The first one's called The Trip to Dingle. The second one is called John Brosnan's, and then we will do something that is not allowed generally, and that is go into a slide at the end. We'll go into the Kings of Kerry.
Police have been called, I think.
The police have been called. Yep. They're on their way. This is pretty funny. I don't know if you can see this, but Chris can see me through a mirror. So I'm trying to evade him. So he can see me.
Well, I have to refocus it now.
You got to refocus. Yeah. Okay.
It's probably
all right.
Probably good.
Okay. Good. 3, 4. things sliding off the shelves?
No, the plants.
Plants are dancing.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
excellent.
that's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. It's still dancing. That's great.
Goodbye.
Yes, exactly. Great. So just so I know, how many folks are musicians? Irish musicians? A lot. Okay. So I'm gonna, as we go, I'll tell you the names of the tunes. Sometimes if I don't tell the names of the tunes, then I have to recite the set list to people afterwards. So I'm just gonna do it as we go, so you know all the names of the tunes. This next set features a tune that was written by Natalie McMaster. I'm assuming everybody knows who that is.
Yeah.
And it's called Father John Mackenzie's. And then we'll do a tune called Farewell to Wally Range. And we'll finish off with a tune written by Joni Madden of Cherished Ladies called The Cat's Meow. That tune's been around for quite some time now. About a year or two ago, I sometimes play with Cherished Ladies, and we were playing a gig in Manhattan for Mick Maloney's memorial service. And Cherished Ladies was in one dressing room here, and in the next dressing room was Liz Carroll and some other folks. And we learned that Liz Carroll is terrified of rats, and she had been like taking a cab from her hotel to the Irish Arts Center, which is like 2 blocks away, because she wanted to avoid the rats that were on the streets of New York. And so Joni and I and the other ladies decided to play some jokes on her because we were putting fake rats in her case and things like this. And then she was retaliating and doing things to us, and it was a great battle. And it was in the spirit of Mick Maloney, of course. We thought that he would have loved the battle. Anyways, I said Morella said to Liz, you should write a tune called The Rat's Meow to go along with the cat's meow. And we were just joking. But about 3 months later, Liz WhatsApped me, and she had written a tune called The Rat's Meow. And we're not going to play it today because I learned it. Chris didn't learn it yet. He will learn it at some point. But you should look it up. It's on Cultus. It's like a real tune on Cultus if you're a musician. It's in 6/4 though. It's like an extended reel. And it's pretty cool. It sounds like little rats creeping around. So, yeah, we'll play it next time.
We'll play the OG.
We'll play the OG Cat's Meow for you for now. So if you see Liz, does Liz ever play here? She's not playing much. She's got a hand injury, I think. But, yeah, she's great. All right. we'll do a tune that I learned when I was a kid, growing up in Alaska, and I don't actually remember where I got this tune from. What my all my trad tunes when I was young came from CDs. There was a good community of people who played up there, but we all learned off of CDs, which was good except for when there was a CD where the person had played a variation on the CD, and the entire Alaska Irish music community would learn it as the real deal. And then there are a number of tunes that when I moved to New York, I played what I thought was the tune, and they looked at me like, no, that's not the tune. And I realized that I had learned a variation from a recording, which is just part of the joy and the terror of this music is that there is no real version of anything, as you guys who play this music know, which makes it fun and interesting, and just like a language, really. So we're going to play a tune that features Chris Ranney on piano, and this one is called If Ever You Were Mine. Do you want to start this off?
Yep.
Okay. other when we're playing. So this is, I'm sorry I wasn't looking at you guys, so I was trying to like make sure I was with his fingers on the keyboard there. So hopefully it's okay. I'm going to play a couple tunes tonight that I wrote. I spent a good portion of my life learning to play Irish music before I started writing tunes, because I wanted to know, I don't know, 1,000 tunes or whatever before I attempted to write my own. The reason being that my goal was and is to write a normal sounding tune that I could play at the session and somebody would be like, oh, what's that tune? Right? I have not succeeded at that. All of the tunes I've written are weird in some way, and I'm still working on that goal. But in the meantime, you know probably Doug about this problem. Yeah.
He's got a whole book of weird tunes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll play a few tunes. Some of them are a little weird, but that's okay. So this set, we'll start with one called Luca at the Beehive. This was written for my nephew, Luca, who lives up in Fairbanks. And when my sisters started having kids, I decided I'd write a tune for each of them. So I wrote the first two, and then no more kids came for a while, and then a bunch of kids came all at once. And now I'm really behind on writing tunes for my.
There's 5 kids now.
There's 5 kids now, and I'm behind by 3 tunes, so that's difficult. But anyways, I'm gonna play for you Luca at the Beehive. And then the second tune is a traditional tune by Neely Boyle called Moving Cloud. I'm going to play the original version, not the modern version, if anybody out there is familiar with the two. And then I will end with another tune I wrote called 5 Flights. It was written for a friend and mentor of mine in New York who had a big black lab. And I don't know if you guys have been to New York. I assume some of you have. People live in 5th floor walk-up buildings in New York. And she lived in one of those, so for a couple months she had to carry the black lab up and down the stairs up to her 5th floor apartment. And after that whole ordeal was done, I decided she deserved a tune for that, so I wrote her this tune called 5 Flights, and then I played it for a couple years, and then I realized that if you live on the 5th floor, it's 4 flights. Not 5 flights. But by that time the tune was written and everything was set, so I couldn't change it. So it's called 5 Flights. We're just gonna make the first steps going
exterior
up to
stairs.
the exterior
European.
stairs. European style. That's right. That's what I meant. Yeah. All right. So hopefully you can hear the stairs in the last tune going up with the dog. We need to insert like a barking sound. So this isn't Broadway, we shouldn't do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, I better be careful with that.
We're never getting asked back.
I'm gonna break the plant shell. That reminds me of I was playing. I didn't actually hit anything in this case, but I was playing our show "Come From Away" near the end of the show, and we were in the middle of some long notes like this. I was just playing along, completely like when you play a show 1,800 times, your brain leaves your head. You have no idea where you are or what time it is or anything like that. So I was in my own world, and then all of a sudden I was bowing along, and my bow hair wasn't there anymore. I was bowing on the wood. And I've been taught since I was a little 3-year-old girl that you never stop playing in a performance. It doesn't matter, your string breaks, you keep playing. If something happens, you just keep playing. And so I tried to keep playing, and I was playing on wood. And I was just like, what is going on? And it took me like 5 good seconds, which felt like 30 seconds, to realize that the tip had broken off the bow. Right here, and it split down here. And the bow of hair was gone. But it was... And it was a good thing that in the show, I actually was required to have 2 bows. And so I put that bow down, and I got the other bow, and I continued playing the rest of the show. But that reminded me of that just now. When I hit the bow there.
Almost had a bow explode.
I almost had a bow explode, and it's this bow too. So
Yeah.
this bow probably can't be repaired twice. But anyways. Bows are not cheap enough to be breaking them all the
No.
time. Nope. Okay, I'll play you another tune that I wrote. This one is called, this again, I don't know if everybody, I'm speaking to everybody like they know about Irish music. In case you don't know how it works, usually we don't play one tune at a time. It sounds like it's one thing with one unit, but it's usually 2 or 3 tunes that are all stuck together. And so that's called a set of tunes. So the first tune here is one I wrote. It's called Stephanie's Slip Waltz, and I wrote it for another friend and mentor of mine in New York who has been really helpful with Tune Supply, which some of you know about. It's a company that Chris and I started the day after our Broadway show shut down for COVID. I thought, oh my God, all my Irish musician friends are going to be out of work and not able to pay their rent. And so I thought I have to do something about that. And we felt like we've got a Broadway show to come back to, so we need to do something to help the community. And we started Tune Supply, which some of you I think watched during the pandemic. Thank you for doing that. And Tune Supply continues in some manner now. It's not as active as it was, but we're doing lately some online learning opportunities, and the next batch is coming up. So if you're a musician and you want some instruction from awesome folks, check it out. Anyways, Stephanie has been really helpful to me for this purpose, and so I wrote her a waltz. I was trying to write a slip jig, but it came out a little wrong, and it's a slip waltz. It's like if a slip jig and a waltz had a baby. It made this tune. We're going to start with that one. And then the next tune is called the Tailor's Twist. That's a hornpipe. And then the last one is another tune that I wrote for... sorry, why do I keep saying that I wrote it? It's because it's such a good tune and I wish I wrote it. It was written by Colin Farrell, not the actor, the musician from, the fiddle player from Lunasa. And as you may know, he writes a ton of tunes. During the pandemic, he was writing a tune a day. I don't know if anybody was following that situation. He frequently forgets that he has written a tune, that's how many tunes he writes. Anyways, I commissioned this tune from him for a friend of mine in Juneau, Alaska, who was suffering from cancer. And he wrote the tune, and it's a beautiful tune. And unfortunately, she passed away a month before she could hear the tune. So now I play it at the concerts frequently so that she can hear it wherever she is now. And the tune is called The Alaskan. It's written both for her and for the famous bar in Juneau. Has anybody been to the Alaskan? No. Okay, one person. Yeah. It's a serious place. One of the oldest bars in Alaska. It is a good place to spend the whole night. Drinking and playing music. I have been going since I was 11 to the Alaskan bar.
And if you spend too long in the...
I've been going since I was 11. Let's just
But
say
the great thing about this bar is if you spend too long in the bar and have too many pints, you can just
There's a
stumble
hotel.
upstairs to the hotel.
And the floors of the hotel are like this, anyways, because it's been there for so long, so you feel drunk, even if you're not drunk. So you go up. Next time you're in Juneau, check out the Alaskan. All right,
Highly
so
recommended.
here's the set. Okay. That was for Liz Saya. So Liz, wherever you are, there's your tune. It's really it reminds me of like an early 1900s.
Yeah,
like honky tonk piano.
Mhm.
There's like naked ladies on the wall. It's that sort of bar. Yeah, it's a great place. You got to go. We're gonna play one more, and then we'll take a small break. And I'll tell you some things that you can do during the break if you want. You can go to the bathroom. There's a bathroom up here, and there's a bathroom downstairs. And over on that table, right at the back, there are some CDs. Unfortunately, Chris and I do not have a CD yet. We were thinking of trying to get one done before this tour, but so many things happen in life. So we didn't get it done, but we will try for next time to have a CD. The CD that's out there, over there, is my band. It's a lot of the tunes that we're playing tonight are on the CD, just with a couple more people on them. And there's a little Venmo code if you want to do Venmo, or you can put cash in a little bucket over there. And I have a card reader if you need to do that. They're $20. There's also a book over there if you'd like to get on my mailing list. You can very neatly write your name so I can read it in the book over there. And then the last thing over there is when we did our kickoff concert in New York for this gig, a friend of mine, actually the woman with the dog, she was manning the CD table for me, and she wrote a little note, which is over there, and it said, I didn't tell her to do this, she wrote a little note that said, tips and love notes for the musicians. And people were writing little notes for us of various types. And so I was like, I'm going to continue that tradition for the tour. So there's little pieces of paper over there. If you want to draw a picture, write us a note, make a complaint, suggest something, anything you feel your heart's content, you can write us a note. And we have really been loving reading the notes after everything is done, including the complaints. Actually, the complaints are my favorite.
It doesn't have to be neat, though.
No, it doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be neat. Yeah, and there's pens back there, and I can get you more pens if you want.
There was a great
Yeah.
complaint the other night.
Yeah,
we
there
played
was.
in Port Townsend, and the complaint was the bathrooms need work.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Where did you play Port Townsend?
At a recording studio.
Rain Shadow recording was really cool. Yeah. But it was in an old power station.
Yeah.
And I think that it was not meant to have
I didn't actually
bathrooms.
visit the
I didn't either.
facilities
I was
there.
scared. Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Doug's wonderful
Oh,
calendar,
calendar, the
is
calendar, yes.
complete now.
Yes.
Tell them about
The
it.
calendar is back there.
Black and white film photography, 13 months of Ireland pictures from Claire. The outtakes are actually on the kitchen wall, but didn't make the calendar. You can see some other pictures. Mailing list too, to get in the mailing list if you're not already on it. Who's not on the list? Pass it back there.
Great. We'll play one more tune, one more set of tunes. This one is also pretty sacrilegious. It's going to start with a reel called Portal of the Kelp. It will go into a hop jig.
A crooked hop jig,
A crooked
no less.
hop jig, if we can make it work, called Top It Off, and we will end with another reel called Callahans.
some snacks, some fresh sourdough bread that I made this morning. See you in about 20-25 minutes.
Great.
Okay, welcome back. Couple things. We're gonna have a session afterwards. We'll talk about chairs at that point. A couple things. I'm recording this concert as I do all my concerts. They're on YouTube. There's a playlist of Doug and Robin's house concerts on there. So if you search for my name on YouTube, you'll find the playlist. So every concert goes up there. What else do I want to mention? Oh, sourdough starter. I always have someone ask me. I will supply anybody who wants. I'll make up a batch of, I'll feed my starter, and you can take it home in one of those plastic cups with some saran wrap. You can go home with some starter if you want.
Yeah.
Let me know after the concert. Okay?
Wow.
I'll make up a big batch for you.
That's cool.
So, I am so thrilled with these guys, aren't you too?
Yeah.
Oh, yes! More music! Supply more tunes!
Thanks for sticking around. We'll play some reels here and then see what happens after that. Okay. 3, 4. Okay, so people came up to me and asked 2 questions during the break, and I'm gonna talk about those before because I have a very Civ-like mind at the moment. So the first question was for you, Civ-like. Yes, we've been on tour for 16 days, and my mind is now full of holes. Okay, so this woman here asked about your style, the
My
style
style.
of play. Yes, and I was wondering if you could talk about it for
Yeah,
a second.
my background is in largely in like developing new Broadway musical shows. So I've played a lot of dance rehearsals and such, and I bring some of that influence to the trad world. When I started playing trad, I was listening to a lot of Cape Breton style music and Quebecois music. I went to Caitlin and said, "Who should I listen to?" And she said, "Troy McGillivray and Neil Pearlman."
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so,
And not, I don't personally love the really traditional Irish piano, boom chuck,
yeah,
boom chuck.
neither do I.
And so I sent him over to Cape Breton style.
Yeah.
Which
Find that to
which
be
is-
more interesting.
Yeah, I like.
So I've
yeah.
taken elements of that and then added my own spin on it, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
It's really cool, and
It's quite a spin. There's a lot to that spin.
and nobody's really doing it exactly like Chris is doing it, so it's pretty. I'm very lucky. Okay, and then the other question was, could we play something from Come From Away? Now we've gotten this question at a couple of concerts, and the funny thing is that we can't, like, Broadway music doesn't really lend itself to what we are doing. However, there were two pieces in the musical that were actually traditional. Like they existed before the musical, and they came from the actual tradition. So we will play one of them one time through because
You have two Broadway performers in the house, though.
that's okay. Well, do they want to sing something for?
Probably not.
Because if you do want to, Chris can accompany you.
I'm getting deer in the headlights. Here, so I'm guessing that's a no. What is
Great,
it?
so Chris was the music director, one of the music directors for the show, so he can play it in his sleep.
That one?
Let's play that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So there were two actual tunes in the show, which the trad musicians fought really hard in Come From Away to get some actual real trad music. We did not want it to be a show that was like purporting to show Canadian culture without any actual real tunes from the area. And surprisingly, we succeeded in getting two tunes in. So one of them is actually called the Newfoundland Reel, and it was recorded by Altan, and the other one is a polka called All Around Aunt Ruby's Garden.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
it?
part of a set dance.
Yeah.
Called Running the Goat. It's the first of the tune in the Running the Goat, which is a Newfoundland set dance.
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly what
It's something like All Around Aunt Ruby's Garden.
Something like that.
But we'll play just. No, this is not going to sound like Broadway. This is going to sound like the real stuff. But this was the moment when the fiddle player comes down in the bar, and they're all having a little dance party, and I got 15 seconds of fame. So we'll play that, just that little bit, without the Broadway ending. We're going to play the real thing. Okay, 3, 4. This is how it went in Broadway. Let's do the Broadway ending. Do you remember it? I haven't done it in 2 years.
Probably.
Okay, 3, 4. You hear the difference? And on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, yes. You couldn't. That's how. That's horrible. That was as much as you could. You didn't even get one time through the tune in the music because it has to move so quickly, onto the next thing. So, anyways, that's all the Come From Away will do for you.
Yeah.
You can watch it on Apple TV if
Yeah,
you
exactly.
want to see the whole thing. Okay, we'll move on. I'll play a couple more tunes that I wrote here. The first one is named. It's named for our cat. We have a cat, black cat with no teeth, named Toast. And yep, and we miss him so much right now. And this first tune is called The White. I know, we were fawning over your cat. That's right.
We've been cat deprived for 2
We've
weeks.
been cat deprived. A dog came to our gig the other night, and I couldn't stop staring at the dog during the concert. It was not good. Anyways, the first one's about our cat. It's called The White Bell. The second one is written for a friend of mine up in Juneau, Alaska, another friend and mentor, who's a fisherman up there, and it's called John on the Ocean, and it's meant to be, that moment like when it's raining but the sun is also coming through the clouds, and I bet you guys get that here. It's supposed to be that moment when he's out on the ocean. And then we will finish with a tune called Soggies, which I don't know. I didn't write it. It seems very appropriate for the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. Okay. Emailed me the full history of that tune, and I haven't read the email yet because I haven't read. It's really hard to keep up on your emails when you're traveling. You guys know it's like, and you don't want to look at your email box either because it's just you want to be in the world. And yeah. Anyways, so for the next tour, I'll let you know what the history of that one is. Do you know?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Okay.
You can tell us anything and we'll believe it.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I have been telling a lot of lies on stage, but the thing is that in some places, like we were playing in Denver, and I was telling all sorts of stories, and then I got corrected on a whole bunch of the stories because the people there really knew their shit with the trans stuff. So I, in fact, had to change a number of the names of my tunes because I had the wrong names. So I could be telling you all sorts of lies, and you wouldn't even know. That's how trad music works, I think. Yeah. In fact, actually, that has to do with the next tune we're going to play.
Next one, right?
So this next tune, I learned it from an accordion player named John Redman in New York when I first got to New York, and he called it. Well, he didn't tell me the name. I called it John Redman's for many years, and then I was playing with him in a session maybe 5 or 10 years later, and I played that tune, expecting him to play it with me, and he didn't play it. And at the end, he said, "That's a great tune. What is that?" And I was like, "You taught me that tune." And he said, "I've never heard that tune." And then I thought I had written it. I wish I had written it. I didn't write it. But anyways, and so we played it in Denver, and I said, eventually I learned somehow that it's called Goodbye to Ireland. And we played it on stage, and then somebody came up to me afterwards and said, "It's not called Goodbye to Ireland. It's called The Voyage to Ireland." So who knows what the tune is called? It's a really good tune, though. So we'll start with that one.
Tunes have 4 names.
That's right.
anyway.
That's right.
what I was gonna
Yes,
say.
that's right.
Yeah. Lots of names.
That's the beauty of it. So we'll play that one, and then we'll go into The Old Bush, which we all know is called The Old Bush. That has no other names. And then the last tune was written by John Doyle. Did John Doyle just play here?
Yeah.
We've been following him around.
Yeah,
We were
we
just
just saw him.
we just saw him in Yahats.
Yeah.
Anyways, he wrote this tune called "Expect the Unexpected," and it lives up to its name.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Guess I don't need that.
Irish guitar player wrote it. Does it? It's pretty cool. I was asking him about it. I actually got to play it with him last year for the first time, and I was totally fangirling about the moment. It was so great. And he said, I think he wrote it. He was playing with some gypsy jazz folks and wanted to like write a tune in that genre, and that was the
like as an exercise basically.
Yeah.
To prove he could do it.
Yeah, and he definitely did it. It's a great tune. Yeah. Okay, and now we'll play another one that's not Irish. I hope that's okay. This next one is a klezmer tune. Does anybody not know what klezmer music is? Okay, great. So we'll play one klezmer tune. Oh, one person does not. Okay, so I'm not an expert, but it's Eastern European Jewish sort of music, and this is from a fiddle player named Kayla Flexer. I learned this when I was a little, I don't know how old I was, maybe 10 or something like that. And since that time, I've been looking for people who will play it with me because it features chords that are not usually used in Irish music, and so most guitar players will not play it with me. I've found two people who will play it with me. One was a marimba player, played for. Yesterday I said four-hand marimba, which was not what was happening. What's it called? Four mallet, where they do it like that. It's so cool.
2 in each hand. Yeah.
2 in each hand, yes. And the other person is Chris. And Chris, because he comes from the Broadway world, can play all of the possible chords on the piano, which is really amazing. Like, we could ask him to play any chord and he could play it right now.
Let's not test that theory.
Okay. So, this is called Joe and Rose Waltz. All the chords. I heard all the chords. Wow. Did you use them all?
I don't think all.
75%.
70
Yeah, 75%. Okay. Yeah, I love that one. We got to learn some more klezmer stuff.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Okay, we've got a couple more. Maybe 3 more. Sounds good. We'll play another tune that I wrote. This one is called Lovage. Does anybody know what lovage is? It's a plant. It's like a wild celery herb. That's not why I named it that. I just like, I do like lovage, but I liked the concept of the word lovage as in like the act of loving something. That's what I was kind of going for. So that will be the first one, and then we'll go into 2 tunes which are actually on my CD. Did you like that product placement there?
Yeah,
That was
very
really great. They're called The Hole in the Hedge and The Road to Athlone. So there's a couple more, but I have a list of things I'm supposed to say, so I'm going to start saying them because I haven't been saying them. First one is, if you come to New York, please come visit us. We have 2 sessions. I lead 2 sessions a week. One is at a pub called Mary O's on Thursday nights. Mary O's was famous during the pandemic for having her scones go viral. Did anybody hear about this? I set up a website for her to sell her scones during the pandemic, and then it got picked up by a blog called Humans of New York, and then she sold $1.5 million of scones. Yeah. And then it took her 18 months to fill the orders because she is a woman after my own heart. She wanted to make every single scone herself. She did not want to hire anybody to help her out or anything. So she took her, and she told everybody it's going to take as long as it takes. If you want your money back, you can get your money back. But it took her 18 months, and she filled the scones. And you can go in there, and they're amazing scones. So Thursday nights at Mario's, and then on Sunday nights, the Laurels, and both sessions are open. And we'd love to see you. I know a bunch of you are musicians. And if you're on the mailing list, you'll have my email, so you can get in touch. And what else should I say? Oh, if anybody wants to come to Alaska with me and Chris, I'm starting a tourism company next summer. Next summer's tours, there's only one individual spot left, but you can keep in mind for a future summers, they are music trips. So we're taking trad musicians with us and going around to all my favorite places in Alaska and playing concerts and playing music and all sorts of stuff. And the company is called Alaska Supply, which is like our other company, Tune Supply, so it's easy to remember. And Chris likes to say at this point that I went on a domain buying spree.
Oh, yes. Caitlin bought like all of the .supply domains.
Yeah.
Like
Lots
fish
of
supply,
supply, seaweed supply, salmon supply,
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
.supply.
I was like, I'm definitely going to sell these because they're very valuable, and then nobody has bought any of them. Or I'm going to make companies for all of these, but I've only succeeded in making 2 of them. But anyways, so Alaska Supply, keep an eye on that. You can get on the mailing list for that as if you'd like to. We were just working with Kevin Burke in Yachats, and he was like, I would like to be a guest on that tour, and wouldn't that be awesome to have Kevin Burke on the tour?
Yeah.
He's a funny man. He's a really funny man. Okay, let's play some tunes, and then I'll talk one more time. So these next tunes, this is one of the tunes that I got corrected on by the Denver crowd.
Oh, yes.
So the correct name of this tune is Mrs. Lowry's to start with, and then we'll play The Donegal Tinker and Trip to Airbase, which is a tune I learned in a kitchen in Ireland when I was 16. I went over by myself. I don't know why I was allowed to do that, but I went when I was 16, traveled around the country, and this was one of the tunes that I learned. some new chords that I haven't heard. That was pretty exciting. That was cool. That was very cool. Okay, we're gonna play one more set of Irish tunes, and then I'm gonna play a forced encore for you, just so you know, because I love playing the last tune. And it's not Irish, and I can't risk you not wanting it, so I'm just gonna force it upon you.
Like we can't really leave the stage.
We can't really leave the stage. Then we get cold. So anyway, so one more Irish tune, and then a little special treat at the end. Thank you so much for coming to this concert. Thanks to Doug for arranging. Also, Doug fed us this amazing meal before we had to play, which was just really lovely, and the bread and the wine and everything. It's a pleasure to play, and we hope to be back sometime soon. Again, at the back table, there's CDs. There's 4 more, I think, and I have more in my bag if we need to break those out. And the mailing list is back there, and the little basket that you can write us a note or whatever you like to draw us a picture, tell us a joke. That'd be nice. So we'll see your best joke. Dirty jokes accepted.
Yeah.
And if you want to put a little bit of money in there, you could.
Contribute to the gas
fund. Yeah.
We drove 4 hours up to Port Townsend, and 4 hours back to Long Beach, and then 2 hours to Portland, and then 3 hours.
It's
up
been
here
a lot
in
of
the last
driving.
4 or 5 days.
And Chris did all the driving. I just want to say thank you, Chris. I was sleeping most of the time. So, yes. So, anyways, that basket's back there. Is that all that's back there? Yes. And
Doug's calendars.
Oh, and then Doug's calendars are back there, and there's a little basket for money as well. Let me look at my list. I think that's it. So we'll play you one more set of Irish tunes. This is The Gallow Glass, The Red Crow, which was written, isn't that a great tune? Yeah. Red Crow, which was written by Altan's fiddle player, Mairead, and The Boys of Malin.